Night Ranger a few times on CC Rock, but 3 times a charm. We're up at Canocti. Rock never stops. I'm very lucky to have Kelly Keagy, Jack Blades, bass player of Night Ranger.
Here we are.
Welcome.
How are you?
Hey, welcome. Thank you. A 2.5-hour drive. We made it. Windy road. It was a fun drive. Very interesting drive. Tonight it's going to be a very interesting drive. Can we sleep with you guys? Not exactly that way, but you know what I'm talking about. The semi-new album, 7, it was on CMC International. Panic and Jane, standout number on that disc. What do you guys think about it? Was it fun getting back together after all these years? It was basically, 10 years between the time period?
Yeah, I think it was about 9 years. And it was really fun making the record. We always have a good time, as you'll see on stage tonight. The band is just a fun band. And we always like to do things that are fun, and when it stops being fun, we'll stop doing it. And right now, it's still fun, I think.
Is it? Maybe not. No.
Was it fun to get back in the studio? It's been so long since you guys have been in the studio working together and making this disc. It's definitely, I think it's a little different from your previous departures.
Actually, to tell you the truth, everybody's playing better, I think, now than we did back in the 80s. Everyone was pretty much severely medicated during the 80s, and everyone is not severely medicated now, and so it was actually very fun. It was quick, it was easy, and it was really painless, putting the whole thing together and having a great time doing it, and we're looking forward to, playing tonight.
Well, are you guys going to put out a new CD in the future, or what's going on with that?
It's all up in the air right now. We're just going to finish this tour, which is done in 2 more days, I think, finished. We end up in Vegas, and then, we've been out since June 15th, I think. And as soon as we do that, we're just going to go home, take some time off, and then just sort of assess what's going on.
Well, you talked about the medicated thing. I remember seeing Boogie Nights late at night. My wife was asleep.
This medicated rub, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Well, it wasn't no Boogie Night-ish rub era. But anyhow, Sister Christian, they start piping up. This guy's walking around in a robe. What did you guys think about when you saw the movie and you first saw that song? It's been a while, but...
Shocked out of my mind.
Did you like the movie, though?
Actually, I enjoyed it because the next scene was a friend of mine who was a stuntman in the donut shop. And I couldn't believe, I didn't even know he was in the scene. So it was a mixture of a lot of crazy things that we kind of remember back in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was definitely fun to have that song in there, and it was a period piece, so what can I say?
No, wait. I love that song.
Well, now, Jack, I saw you on TV recently with Ringo, and you were almost like you were filling the shoes of little Paul there. And what kind of bass was that you were playing?
That was a Hamer Beetle bass. I had Hamer build me a Hofner Beetle bass because I like Hamers and I like the way they sound. So what they did is they sort of knocked off that Beetle bass design, but it was a current guitar, and
Sounded good.
Really fun. Yeah, it was just great. We had a real fun time doing that. We might even do some shows this November, December.
So it's fun being with Ringo. I hear he's a great guy.
He's a wonderful guy. Yeah, I've never been with anybody that famous before, though. It's unbelievable. You have no idea how famous the Beatles are. There were 4 of them. There's only 3 of them left. I don't know who's more famous in the world today. It's almost like when people around him, people just turn into blithering geek fans. No matter if you're a CEO of a major corporation or it doesn't matter who you are, you're just like, Ringo!
People always treated Ringo kind of as, as the 4th guy out sometimes. I don't know. I think he's a very talented person. Did you feel a lot of talent coming out of him on the tour?
Yeah, a very talented guy, and very at peace with who he is now. You know what I mean? And hasn't had a drink or anything like that in 15 years, I think, or 12 years. He's been sober a long time, and he's very at peace with who he is, and he's it's really good.
I need a touch of madness. she moves through the heat. Set out all alone on a hot summer night. Man, she ain't got the touch. She make you sweat. Wow. I get wild in a wild too. Don't you wanna feel it too? I need a touch. I need a touch of madness. I need a touch. I need a touch of madness. I need a touch. I need a touch of madness. Guitar.
Well, Jeff's not here, but Brad Gillis is. And everybody knows Brad Gillis. He's had a big career. I mean, you play with Ozzy
And Harriet.
and Harriet and my three sons.
Yeah. No, I left them alone.
Good, because, you know, those three kids, you don't want to deal with those guys.
No.
You're on the Rock Never Stops tour. What are you guys thinking right now? I mean, this is the big tour. I mean, the big four bands going out, playing all over the country. Do you like this kind of atmosphere, or do you like just going out on your own doing stuff?
Well, it's great going out, especially in a big tour like this, because, you know, you got four bands traveling with big semis, you great catering, big stages, a lot of people. It's great. The only thing is we've been out for 2.5 months, so everybody wants to go home.
And you're almost there.
Yeah, it's a couple
You,
days.
you live in Lafayette, is that true?
No, I live in Alameda, back to Alameda where I grew up.
Back to Alameda. Well, I'll tell you, CC Rock does play in Alameda Tuesday nights. It's 9:30, I think. Channel 6, whatever.
Well, check me
hey,
out.
check me out, because hey, I bet you want to check yourself out. Well, I mean, this is like I said, Rock Never Stops. What about Ted Nugent? I mean, you're a guitarist.
Oh, man.
Do you admire the guy or what?
He's great. I mean, he's a classic. When I was a kid, I was growing up listening to his stuff, and, you know, it was really cool is, you know, the guy respects me as a player. He comes up and tells me, hey, you guys sound great tonight. You know, we do Coming of Age, and I do Ted's solo on it. And I kind of do my own wang bar thing to it. And he goes, man, that sounds great. So I've got many compliments from him. Plus, you got the guy just has the killer tone on stage, and he's classic, and he plays everything to the T like the record. And it's just great to watch, you know. And plus, I got Tommy Aldridge. He's got Tommy Aldridge on drums, who I used to play with in Ozzy, and Rudy Sarzo on bass with Quiet Riot, who I used to play with Ozzy.
There's a family tree here somewhere.
Week. It's wonderful, man. We're having a great time, and like I said, we're all just kind of a little homesick.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I remember the Gil Rock Ranch. You know, you did the thing with Greg Allman. That one big number. I mean, it was on the radio for a long time. It's been a few years, obviously.
God, yeah, honest
to God, great song. How was that working with Greg Allman? I know he's doing the Allman Brothers these days right now, but was that a fun project?
Yeah, it was great. It just happened off the cuff. I was having a barbecue at my house in Lafayette, and he came by with some mutual friends, and we ended up in my studio. He says, well, what do you got? What do you... Oh, in Greg's voice, hey, what do you... Play me something, man, you know? So I played him a track, and I had a vocalist sing on it, and I really didn't like his track, so I pulled down his vocal, and I played him just the track without the vocal, and after he got done, he goes, play that again, man. And he grabbed a paper and pen, and he started writing lyrics to it, and boom, we had a song together. I finished that up, and he said, "Hey, let's do another one." So a couple days later, he came back, we did another song. So I had 2 songs on the record, and we had a top 20 AOR hit with Honest to God, did real well.
A lot of great instrumentals on that one. I mean, being a video producer, not that I've ever used any of your music illegally for video.
Yeah, like you tell me.
I would, honest to God.
Oh, that's the one of you.
Anyhow, I remember,
Well, you know what's so cool about being a Canuck is I'd come up here a few times and sit in with Greg Allman when he'd do the Greg Allman, not Allman Brothers, but as Greg Allman and Friends. I sit in with him up here, and so I know this place well. I've been up here probably 5 times. It's the first time for a Night Ranger, and the first time I've actually seen or played the outdoor venue. So this is kind of cool. And it looks like we have a good crowd. I didn't really peek.
It's building fast, and I think they're waiting for you guys and Ted to get on stage. I think Quiet Right's now up there right now. Yeah. But I remember Randy Rhoads died. There was an Oakland Coliseum show, whereas one of your earlier shows with Ozzy, right after Randy had passed away. And I think it was amazing to hear. I personally, I love Randy Rhoads. I think he's one of my top 20 guitarists at least.
I remember seeing him at the Day in the Green earlier,
Oyster Cult.
Before that, yeah, and everyone said he's the next Eddie Van Halen. I checked him out. I said, this guy's he's got his own thing going. Yeah.
What did it feel like though when you jumped in the shoes there? I mean, that must have been pretty heavy.
It was totally heavy. I had 5 days on the road, sitting in my room with a live tape of all the music that was segued together with all the changes and stuff, and I just went in and learned every lick and pretty much then kind of did my own thing. I kept the classic solos, but then threw them in my own little quirks and stuff here in different songs. But then on the 5th night was Binghamton, New York, and Ozzy said, "Oh, are you ready to play now?" And I said, "Sure." So Actually, the guy that filled in was Bernie Tormé, and he was doing the shows until I was able to, get myself together and get up there and play. Then I went in, did my thing the first night, and I screwed up on one song, Revelation, Mother Earth. I went into the fast section too quick, and Ozzy looked over like,
Speak of the devil.
the look of death. So I didn't do that again,
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful experience. Did it for about a year and did that live Speak of the Devil record, and we toured the world twice, Europe, Japan, all of the States, Canada. It was wonderful.
Now, I mean, I understand that, Ozzy speaks a little slurry sometimes. He's got that, that British accent. Could you understand him every time he talks? 'Cause I listen to the radio sometimes. I go, what are you talking about?
I'd always have to go through Sharon as the interpreter. Actually, long time ago he was drinking a little more, but he's straightened up now. He's got it together. He's, he looks better and he's got his act together.
Yeah, we saw the Black Sabbath show down at the San Jose Arena. Amazing show, and I was like, I'm sure you guys are gonna be amazing on stage tonight. So we're gonna let you get up there, enjoy it.
Man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.